Welcome back, everyone, to the Time Squeeze podcast. I'm Connor.
I'm Gary.
And I'm Wyatt. And this week we're talking about the shows that made us.
And we're back.
So how far back do we want to start on the shows that made us? Or do we just want to get right into it from current to further
I mean,
back?
I think we could just go current, but we got a little bit for nerd news this week.
Yeah, so by the time that this goes up, episode 2 of Book of Boba Fett's going to be out, but I enjoyed the very first episode. There was a few things here and there that I didn't like very much, but overall I thought it was pretty all right. And I trust Robert Rodriguez to take it in a good direction.
Wait, Robert Rodriguez doesn't like Spy Kids?
Yeah.
Oh, Dimension.
And like Machete, that one
cool.
episode of The Mandalorian that he did direct with Boba Fett.
Nice.
Because most of all the trailer shots we saw were from that very first episode, so there's still a lot we don't know what to expect.
Cool.
And I trust him.
Right.
And Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are still working on it as well.
Right.
I need to watch it. I need to watch the end of Hawkeye, and I need to watch the start.
I thought you finished Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I did not. I ended up not being able to because time conflict, but
That's why we still haven't talked about the actual ending of Hawkeye yet, now that I think about it.
I'm sorry.
We did so. We talked about the Kingpin coming back, and
No, because we
And
had
Spider-Man,
we
yeah, we
had
did.
Jordan on that episode.
no,
We talked about hypotheticals, but we didn't talk about the actual ending yet because
dude, Hawkeye ended.
after Spider-Man came out. And the episode,
you're
that
right.
episode of Hawkeye came up when we put out our Spider-Man video.
Right. Also, if the audio sounds a little different, we are actually in a different room for the next couple episodes. Due to some changes going on in my house, we will be back down to our old space eventually.
The bunker.
The bunker. But we're actually in a different room. So that's why audio might sound a little different. You might hear a little more background noise than you usually do. Just for a few episodes, it'll be this way. But
Yeah,
we'll get back to our regular spot shortly.
it's delaying
Yeah.
a few plans here and there, but that's perfectly okay.
Yeah.
Everything will work out. We're having more content coming.
Yeah.
We'll still make sure that our short film idea hopefully comes to fruition. Coming up soon, we'll be able to film and get everything done for that.
and
Put it out there for
and pretty
everyone
soon,
to see.
I mean, we have the tools necessary to stream with an external camera.
Yeah,
So
look forward to more streams possibly.
Oh yeah, and
Doing some more stuff.
thank you for everyone who came out to the stream.
oh
yeah.
yeah, that was great. That was
gonna say,
fun. That
We
was
had
really
some
fun.
problem. Next stream will probably be on YouTube.
Hopefully.
I mean, we can do probably both
At the
streaming.
same time.
I mean, yeah, if we want to.
We'll figure it out.
But we had a weird conflict with YouTube. You have to apparently. I don't remember doing this when I did it. If I even did it with my YouTube channel, you have to request to live, and it takes up to 24 hours to
Yeah.
set up your thing for a live.
Yeah, I've never even
which is
heard
dumb.
of that.
I haven't heard of it either, and none of us knew about it. Or obviously the stream would have been on YouTube. But,
Right, we would have been much more ready.
right. But it ended up being okay for
Yeah, I think for
last minute switch of venue.
very first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, like hour before. Yeah.
I think
glad
at
we
max
noticed
we had
it
maybe 9 to
that
10
early.
people at that time
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
we averaged a lot of people.
for a very first stream.
Yeah, that was, it was
On a
crazy.
A last minute change.
For a local podcast, exactly. Yeah, it's like
It's like we hope obviously one day that we could have more people while watching us live.
Yeah.
But
Right.
for a very first stream, I won't complain.
And if, not even on our main platform as well.
yeah.
Right, yeah. I
That
think
was-
that's easily a good accomplishment on our part.
Right, yeah, I was
Yeah.
proud of us at the end of the stream.
We wouldn't have gotten that far if it wasn't for the people who did tune in, though.
Yeah.
And I was worried that we're going to run out of things to do. But
Yeah,
we filled
actually
our
had
time.
too much
Yeah,
to
we
do.
filled our time pretty well.
And next year, if we do it again, we can probably start a little earlier. To be honest with you,
Right.
We'll start at
I
3
was-
in the afternoon.
we could.
We really could, and still fill up the time probably.
Right.
That might be a little much.
Next year's stream. We might do a stream before then, but I think we should
I
continue.
feel like we'll definitely have a stream before
continue
that.
the tradition of doing it for New Year's. But next year we'll have a real Elgato by then, hopefully.
Oh yeah.
So
We'll see how far we can get and what the next stream is.
Yeah. But
yeah, I showed them how easy it was to switch from back and forth from scene to scene. So, and it's the same. You'll just add a third scene.
Yeah.
For the gaming stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll be chill as hell. So.
Yeah. Well, with that, I mean, there's another side to that. Now that we have a cam link.
Right.
Video podcast.
Right. Yeah.
Sometime,
so like
sometime soon.
Right.
It'll take a few weeks.
Not yet, but
we'll be there.
It'll be a few episodes. We'll probably get it going. I want to have it ready by the time we move back into our space. I think we should. It's possible.
Yeah, we've got time. We're gonna rearrange the area.
And I actually, with the gift card you gave me, I just ordered 2 new batteries for my camera.
Dope.
Yeah.
We're looking to get some other equipment too that'll help us in the future with other projects.
Right. And I'm thinking maybe we get a 4K Logitech camera so we don't have to worry about reloading batteries.
That's what I was thinking about too.
Yeah, that's
I thought
true.
if we banded together,
we get the Elgato and then we get a 4K Logitech, because even with if we do a stream again, like if we get a 4K Logitech and then we have my 1080p one, and then we could still do an external camera. That's
like
not
for a third view.
For a third view, right? So
would we need it?
I mean, so
Not
the only thing that
necessarily,
I
but it
would
could be
want
fun.
it for was so we have a camera. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of wanted to, like, for next year's stuff, I want a camera in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, if we
Oh,
do
to
the
be
same,
able to actually
if we
see
do the
us.
same setup, we'd like have a camera in front of us so we could they'll get that view while we play games, so they could look at us instead of the back of our heads.
We apologize if you look at our Twitch account. You might not be able to find the actual video because we didn't know that we had to switch on something for it to save.
Yeah,
So
we
the
switched
5-hour
it on.
stream
We
is
switched it on
it's
for
gone
like
forever.
at the last minute. We switched it on, but it was too late. It wasn't recording and saving it at that time. So I made that mistake whenever I first streamed on Twitch. So it happens, but
it is what it is, and we continue to march on forward.
yeah.
Like the I can't say it. Never mind. Screw the thought.
Well, and there's always problems with the time sweeps stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we always have problems.
Hell,
We're still
took
fresh.
us
Like, you guys should have just expected it at this
Hell,
point.
it took us like, what was it? 2 years?
Technically one. Technically.
A year to get into it, a year to get it going, and then a year to get it back going,
Yeah.
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 and then
We talked about it forever.
forever. Yeah.
Oh, and later, this isn't so much relevant to the people listening right now. I'm going to talk to you guys about planning out a little bit more of our Disney trip
Okay.
because I had a thought about it.
That's a little bit relevant to the listeners because we're gonna make vlogs
it'll
about
be
it.
vlogged. You guys will see us go to the good old
A classic 3-camera vlog that will be so fun to edit.
way down in Disney.
I'm thinking, let's just talk about this for like a few minutes. I was thinking to do like one camera for the trip down there, and then when we get to the park, we could do like a cool transition to where like one of us is holding one camera, and then like all of our hands are there, and like we could just split up into like 3 things, and like
I think it'd be fun to do. It might be a pain.
because we might not all get appointments for stuff at the same times.
Right.
Because
hopefully on some things
hopefully,
we can,
yeah,
like
but-
the lightsabers.
Right.
Because I don't want to go in alone. And technically you're able to bring in one visitor with you,
Right.
but it's not the same as getting to build one with your friends.
Exactly. Or we invite a 4th person down to be a videographer. Like,
I was going to say I have one person. And he'd love to come. But I can't assure that, so he already knows that because yeah. You know who I'm referring to.
And he's listening right now.
He is. Everyone in the comments, type your first idea and guess who I'm talking to.
guess who he's talking about?
The little gremlin.
He ain't little no more. He can stare me in the eye. Anyway.
Anyway, let's move on to like the
Topic.
Our shows.
the shows that made us who we are today.
Wait, turn on the lights real quick.
Yep.
We're in a dark room.
We're in a dark room.
We're in your basement right now. I am the thing that goes bump in the night.
What?
I am the thing your dog barks at when you think it's nothing.
All right. So
You know when your cat stares into the corner of the room and you can't see anything? I'm what your cat sees.
I'm
You're
what your
welcome.
cat sees. Okay, moving on from this whole thing. Does anyone want to start us off? Because I think like 90% of the viewers that watch know what my favorite show is. So
yeah, and I feel like people that know me are going to know what my favorite show is as well. I mean, or at least the one that shaped me a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Connor, do you want to start us off?
I mean,
you're representing today.
I am representing today. My favorite show growing up, at least, was Ben 10. Actually,
all of the Ben 10s.
Yes,
until very recently.
Right.
Well, 2016. Actually, 2016 got better. It just wasn't the same. But yeah, the reason I liked Ben 10 was just because like it could be campy. It could be very campy, but it was also like it got dark, and also it was just like the show up until like the fourth. I don't know if it's called, if we would call it a show or like a piece of I don't know, but like it grew with its viewers. Because like Alien Force got dark. I mean, Ultimate Alien wasn't as dark just because they were like, parents complained, why the hell is it so dark, bro?
Why are they talking about the...
Why'd you kill Grandpa Max? Damn.
Genocide.
Because he deserved
Grandpa deaths.
Never. Well, he didn't actually die.
Right.
Yeah, like
it
was
like
just Dwayne
transcend
McDuffie.
realities or something.
It was, well, like I don't know.
I don't remember how they wrote it into the show.
Went to the Null Void, the portal where not portal,
that's what
the
it
dimension
was.
where they kept all the bad guys.
The only I didn't
the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
I watched the first Ben 10 show, like the original one, and then I watched the Alien Force, and I watched a little bit of the Ultimate. That's where like he could like boost their stats basically. Yeah. So I barely watched that one but it was like a continuation of like Alien Force.
Yeah.
So like, but yeah, I liked Ben 10 back when I was watching it. I mean, I've gone back to the original.
Yeah,
show
that one's the best.
A few months ago, probably way longer ago than I think it is. But I went back to it. It's still a great show.
Yeah, I mean Omniverse. The only thing that turned me off of Omniverse. I mean, I enjoyed the show. I watched it all the way through, and it like the show was good. It's just like they pandered too much to kids, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like
or attempted pandering.
But honestly, I mean, the animation style. I mean, after the first few seasons, it's a totally different show. It really found itself in the last seasons.
It really like started off so different, and it's like kind of weird to see Ben 10 and how each version of Ben 10 has changed so much.
Yeah, I mean the new ones. I mean, I would have enjoyed them if I was younger, but now that I'm older, all I see is Johnny Test with a watch, and I can see that. It's gotten better. It's certainly gotten better than it was in the beginning. I watched the first few episodes, and I was just like, eh. Then I watched some more recent ones, and they kind of rehashed Vilgax Attacks. So not Vilgax Attacks. The one where he had to go into space with Tetrax and save the world from exploding Omnitrix.
Not like the big special where he becomes way big.
Yeah.
He meets the Maker.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the name of it.
I think Way Big was my favorite alien from the...
I mean, you were kind of relatable to him.
He was cool.
He was freaking awesome.
I liked Way Big, and then of the original 10, I liked Diamond, like the Diamond Head. Yeah. I thought it was Diamond Head, but I didn't want to be like, Diamond Head, and then you'd be like, that's not his name.
No, it's
but like Diamond Head was cool, like a cool concept. I thought they kind of there was that Skylander that was kind of like him.
Yeah.
That had the crystals for hands.
Oh, Prism Break.
Yeah, Prism Break. He kind of like he was one of my favorite Skylanders. That was the whole reason I
liked that figure in Skylanders was because of Ben 10.
Right.
Yeah.
I want crystal lasers for hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that would suck.
I just liked it because like he could transform. Like I liked Power Rangers growing up, but like Ben 10 was much better for me because I was like, he can transform and he kicks ass. Hell yeah.
It's like he can do
going back now.
Everything.
It's like watching it back in the day though, where Ben 10 would mouth off. I'd be like, "Yeah, you tell him, Ben." But now watching Ben 10 mouth off, I'm like, "Dude, shut your little kid mouth."
I was gonna say, I don't care if you can transform into an alien. Shut up!
I'll smack you upside the head so fast. Boy.
I was gonna say you'd smack him and then he'd transform into like
forearms.
That is one thing I didn't like about the original was he and Gwen argued way too much.
Well, they were. I always thought that was like the most realistic thing about it.
That were the same age that like grew up really closely, almost like siblings.
Know. Well, like me and my sister were really close in age, and
it's all about.
Me and my sister are 8 years apart, and we still fought like Ben and Ben and
I was gonna say, me and my brother, we never really fought like that at least.
Well, you two are kind of the same person.
I was gonna say we say things in unison. It's different.
Yeah, because
we're close.
Yeah, you're really close.
And I'm pretty sure he stabbed me, but that's a different story.
You guys are 7 years. You guys are 7 years apart.
7 years apart.
Right.
Yeah, he was born whenever we were kindergarten.
First grade? Coming out of first grade, because it was at the end of kindergarten that like my mom was pregnant, I think. Or wait, no, was it going into first grade? I'll be honest, it's kind of hard to remember. I just know it was July of 2008.
Right. Speaking of so another show that like kind of like hit us all growing up, like that we all really liked and still like is Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Oh, dude,
that was so big for me.
I remember watching
Clone Wars. Like it was. I really think that if you're a fan of Star Wars and haven't seen Clone Wars, like you
were doing yourself a disservice.
Right, and everyone's like,
oh,
it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon. Yeah. No.
You watch people get decapitated.
It's hard to watch for the first few seasons.
You watch Anakin stab someone through the chest.
Hard. I think everyone.
No, I think the first two seasons are like the better of the seasons.
I think they are easily.
But that might just be because I'm a long-time Star Wars fan, you know.
Also, there's this. I mean, if you want to be really hardcore about it, you can watch in the watch order, like the first.
So Disney Plus politely gives you a 22 or 26 important episodes from the whole series, so you don't have to watch it, and it gives you all like the major points. It's like basically a lot of the first season, because of like Ahsoka stuff, and then it's like all of season 7, basically.
Pretty much.
Like you. Honestly, if you don't want to watch all of the seasons, watch
at least
watch the movie,
very beginning, and then the very end.
Watch the Clone Wars movie, and then watch the first 2 seasons and the last season.
And like it was a big deal for me when growing up.
I mean, you have to watch the second before, or the third before last season because.
So season 4.
Yeah, there's the whole thing with Ahsoka getting kicked out of the Jedi Order.
You have to.
And that kind of
basically watch the whole show, please.
Yeah, just watch the whole show. It doesn't.
I mean, Rebels is also good. It's not as good. But
Rebels
Rebels at first was not as good.
I did not like Rebels at first. It took me going back to the show in high school for me to like really appreciate Rebels.
It really finds its footing after that second season.
Yeah,
especially once Thrawn comes up. Oh, dude.
That's what I thought.
I thought
that was forced. I never thought Thrawn made sense.
Well, and especially with Ahsoka comes back in Rebels, and then Ahsoka show's coming up, the live action show. And
watch Rebels before that.
Right, because I think they're going to be finding a certain someone that went bye-bye at the end of the show.
I mean, she even asked about him, right? During that fight.
Oh, we're talking about the bad guy. I thought Gary was talking about the good guy. We can say
I'm talking about
this.
They're probably in the same place.
Yeah. Because the space whales took him, the hyperspace whales took him
which
to the
Ezra
same place.
called.
Yeah, because
Ezra was like, hey,
really strong at talking to animals.
Right.
Which I think was interesting.
I always like that, like the main Jedi people always have like a thing they're really good at.
Yeah.
Like Anakin was really good at lightsaber combat.
He was brilliant at flying.
And flying, right.
Yeah. Like his strongest suit was being able to know what was going to happen. That's what made him good at fighting.
Well, but that was also his
That was his foresight, or whatever it's called.
Right.
His foresight.
And then what was Luke's? What was Luke really good at?
Flight and
he was kind of like his own father.
Right. But like Cal Kestis, he had that.
He can like gather the history of an object.
Right. Which is that it's basically it's almost the same ability as Anakin's,
but in reverse.
But in reverse, like he
can walk up to like a helmet of a clone and be like, "Dang, this dude got eaten.
This dude got eaten.
I know how to
play
my
this
master
guitar. Chopped this guy's head off.
My master broke a man in half." And just
can we talk about like I think the best part of Rebels was like Zeb's past.
Yeah, really, like, at first, I just did not like him, and they still found a way to make him better.
Right. Well, and, like, the whole Lasat thing, like, and then that's the only Lasat we've seen until...
the later part of, I think, like, season 2 or 3, where we see, like, 2 other ones.
2 other ones, but then after that, like, we didn't see another one until...
until
Fallen Order.
Yeah.
Which because his master was a Lasat, which I always thought was really cool.
Which
like
I kind of wish he wasn't purple, but
Lasats are purple.
I know, but I wish they weren't.
Sorry, but they are.
He's based off of the original Chewbacca design, and he was brown. They just didn't want him getting more confused with Chewbacca because they'd be like, "Oh,
well, that was even
big brown hairy man."
That was even a plot point in Rebels. They were like, two of
he's
them dressed up as
is that a shaved Wookiee
or a hairless Wookiee? Yeah, like they were like two of them, as every Star Wars person does that was around in that time period.
Yeah, dressed up like a stormtrooper and walk right in.
Right.
Which that's probably the most accurate thing ever in my opinion. You just put on a uniform and they'll let you in almost anywhere.
Right. I also like that
Walmart, police, construction sites, it all works.
They made Ezra's lightsaber green.
I like that afterwards. And hear me out.
Because I personally don't think there's enough green lightsabers in the universe, to be honest.
People were really against the idea of his lightsaber also being a blaster.
Right.
I like that idea.
I do too.
I don't like that it stuns people.
It should go through them.
It should go right through them. Because it's basically a tiny Death Star.
That's
what the Death Star is. The Death Star is a giant lightsaber.
There was a comic run, it's not canon anymore, but a lady put her lightsaber in a rifle.
Yeah.
And it like, disintegrated people, basically.
It would be the best weapon ever, technically, because not many things can stop a lightsaber.
Exactly.
Right. So, back to
Snap back to reality.
Well, I think Clone Wars was a part of it. And
the Clone Wars was
like this whole all of the Star Wars shows, really, like even the modern one.
Clone Wars, when it came back, was very big to me.
Oh,
it left a huge mark on me because I remember when Episode 3. I legitimately remember that. That was one of my earliest memories.
Well, and like my biggest thing with Rebels when it came out was that the fact that it was smooth, like all the characters.
It doesn't look as
but.
Artistic.
You get over it. Like you start to forget about it,
over, especially as it goes on,
as you watch it. Right.
At first,
because the story is really good.
It gets better.
The story is really good.
I haven't seen Resistance yet.
I haven't seen Resistance.
I kind of refuse to watch it.
I
People are like, "It's better later."
It's better. No, shut up.
No, it looks awful. It looks like the most Disney-fied thing.
Yeah, I agree.
It looks hard to watch.
But even the modern Star Wars shows like Mando and
Mando's great.
Star Wars Visions. I know it's not canon information, but it was still good. It was still
entertaining.
Fun watch, right? And then now Book of Boba. Am I missing any modern?
The last season of Clone Wars is technically Bad Batch.
Bad Batch was good.
There were still some problems in Bad Batch, but I still think it works.
I really think. Besides, what's your favorite? This is kind of on topic and off topic at the same time. What's your favorite time period of Star Wars?
Oh man,
because personally, I really like the old High Republic time era, which is the era we're going.
Old Republic,
the Old Republic, yeah.
Because the High Republic is now different. It's only 500 years versus thousands.
Oh,
yeah, it's the designs are different. I want to see the
Old Republic.
Well, the Old Republic,
Darth Revan,
right? Or I really like the part the prequels, where the Jedi are in their peak, basically.
I like seeing Jedi.
I like seeing a whole bunch of Jedi. I know Attack of the Clones was a bad movie, but
that's the best scene in the movie.
That's the best scene in the movie, where all the Jedi are come to the arena. That's dope to watch.
I would remember being a child and skipping just to watch that.
That was your favorite. That was my favorite mission in Lego Star Wars.
I want to see Jedi protecting people. That's because that's what their original purpose was. Was
they're
to
protectors.
Keep the peace and protect people.
That's kind of what the Disney's new thing was supposed to be. The High Republic it was supposed to be the Jedi truly protecting.
Aren't we going? So the next trilogy or movie is going back to that time, right?
Maybe. I don't know. We don't know what era Taika Waititi's movie's in.
Because they're done. I just want them to leave Skywalker Saga alone.
Right,
which is that's the part about Book of Boba that I like, is because they're going away from that.
That was something nice about Mando.
It's a whole galaxy.
Even Mando
it's not. It shouldn't revolve around the same 9 people or 5 people. That
even if they are kind of the focal point of the Force in a way,
right? Or at least in that time period they are. Then Obi-Wan's coming out too this year.
Yeah,
so. I'm sure
I still find it hilarious to go online and there's all these people that are like, I want to spin off for this character. I want to spin off for this character.
Go away.
No, these are this is the movies.
We need new people.
Well, yeah, we need new people. We can't have Star Wars for the next 50 years about the same things that happened for 50 years ago, you know?
Right. We need fresh faces because
that's why
of the way...
we are getting an Iron Man 5. Or an Iron Man 4, or like because we need new blood, we need new things to talk about.
We're going to get.
I still
one of
hope
those
they
one
don't
day. They'll find a
ruin
way.
Iron Man with Ironheart.
I think the way they.
I
make
just
those
hope that
movies,
it's better
it'll
than
be
her
okay.
comic run.
Yeah,
is my
because
thing.
her comic run's painful.
I didn't like
And
it,
it's
so
like-
I hope MCU works MCU magic and produces a good story out of it.
And the idea is okay. The idea isn't the problem. It's the execution of the writing. Because even the art's still good.
Right. So
Except for the design of the iron suit that Riri Williams has. I didn't really like it too much. Even her newer suit, still, it's like, what is this?
what about you, Wyatt?
Like, show that really shaped me? Batman the Animated Series.
Of course.
Great one.
I grew up watching it. Batman taught me how to read. Batman is important. And that show is like the end-all be-all of Batman.
Yeah.
It has everything, and it still continues in comics, that universe.
Yeah.
They still add on. They're still doing stuff with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
They've added right now they're doing the Court of Owls, adding them into the universe.
Nice.
They added
yeah.
Jason Todd recently,
Oh, really?
and Deathstroke.
Is that like the time between the animated series and the New Adventures?
Kinda.
Okay.
That's where they phrase it being, is the lost years. That's an actual era that they elaborate exists, and they're trying to flesh it out. Basically, it's them saying, it's like, oh, all these events that in Batman's past happen, except for the Court of Owls stuff. I think that's after. That's more current.
That's
like
like a
the
really
Tim Drake era.
Intense villains
It's
for
like,
that.
That's learning when Batman learned that the city wasn't actually his city.
Right.
And then he violently takes it back by murdering a bunch of zombies.
Right.
He
Dude.
fights a bunch of Talons,
Uh-huh.
which I love their outfits. If I was, lean and muscular, that's a villain costume right there as a Talon. Those guys look awesome. Except for the big mechanized version.
Yeah.
Timothy Church, something Church. He's at the main fight at the end of
The Court of Owls Batman run, at least.
the New 52 Volume 2 of Batman, because Volume 1 was called The Court of Owls. I don't remember what Volume 2 was
I think
called.
it's called the City of Owls, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right.
Because
It's about him going around the city, stopping them before they can do
that's
something
the one
bad.
that's the one I have.
'Cause-
I have Volume 1 and Volume 2, and I'm just gonna leave these headphones off. All right.
but yeah, Batman genuinely shaped me, and like all the other things that came with it.
I mean, like all the
Superman, the animated
superhero
series,
shows.
the Justice League show,
Spider-Man.
Batman.
I feel like all the
Dude.
superhero shows
The
made
90s
back in the
the
early
90s
2000s, late
Spider-Man
like
show.
90s and before that, even like all of them are like underrated back then.
The most faithful adaptation. I mean, there's Batman the animated series, but the most faithful adaptation, like on the Marvel side, is the Spider-Man 1990 show. Dude, that is like some of the most faithful to the comics.
as faithful as it can be,
Yeah.
because some things didn't
And
make the censor.
An underrated show that came kind of a Spider-Man show that kind of came out when we were older was the Ultimate Spider-Man, where
Made by the people that made Ben 10.
right,
Man of
where like White Tiger and
Oh, that was something. I just remembered something that studio made that was really shaped me as a
Generator
child.
X.
No, Secret Saturdays.
Oh,
Generator
was-
X. That threw
That
me
was my
back.
show.
Generator
Secret
X.
Saturdays, and it only had 2 seasons, and the second season didn't air
Oh, yeah,
at a normal time.
Secret Saturdays and Ben 10 are in the same universe.
Well, so is Generator X.
Yeah, well,
They're all three in the same
well,
universe.
Generator X is in an alternate reality.
They had that crossover though, where it was
Yeah.
the same universe. They just walked into
well,
each other's lives.
Well, no, they.
I don't remember there being a dimensional rift.
There
or
was a
anything.
dimensional rift. We can watch the episode later.
Okay.
Well, should we pull away from cartoons and get grow we're growing up a little bit? I kind of like
Adventure Time.
Adventure Time. I don't know. So a big show. Everyone who knows me knows what my favorite show is without even question. My favorite show is The Office. I'm not the only one out there, but I think
Scrubs.
that my level of The Office knowing is more than like the average Office
We
viewer.
literally gave him a Dundee for his birthday one year.
My
It was
my
like a
knowledge of The Office.
Graduation party birthday present.
When I
situation.
ask you, are you watching The Office? That means I don't care if you've watched The Office. I need to know if you watch The Office. Do you watch The Office? Yeah, I'm on this season right now, and where this and this and that is happening. Okay, cool. Because that's what it means to watch The Office. Well, watching The Office is kind of like an art form for me.
Okay, Michael.
It is. The Office. If I could make money watching The Office, I'd be a millionaire right now. We'd be in my house, not my mom's house. That's a fact, Jack.
It's a fact, Jack.
No other show has done, not even today, has done what The Office did back then, you know? Like, it's crazy to think. Like, it was the first show.
Adapt a British sitcom into an American situation.
It was the first, but like, even all the shows being made in America at that point all had laugh tracks. Think about that.
Yeah. Like, I think that's something that truly does kind of make The Office is like, when Jim looks over, there's not a laugh track.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's makes
what made
it funnier.
So good, right?
It's funnier.
And then that spin-offs of that, like Parks and Rec, it's kind of the same thing. But I know you like Parks and Rec more than The Office, and I'm the opposite. But both great shows. Both shows that my brother-in-law Jordan, who was on last week's episode, if you haven't watched it, first guest that we've ever had on the show. Yeah. He showed me both these shows, and he told me once, he's like, Gary, I'm kind of glad that you took these shows that I love and turned yourself into a whole new definition of fan for them, because I love both shows, but The Office will forever be my favorite show. There's like without question, like will never change my number one slot. Like, that's just locked there. So if you really want to know, like, besides The Office, like, I love a whole bunch of TV, because I like TV more than movies, I think. Like, everyone's like, 5 Desert Island movies, what you bring in? I'm like, can I bring some TV shows? Because, like,
there's more.
There's more to TV shows than there are movies, which is why I really like I do and don't like at the same time what they're doing with Phase 4 of Marvel. Because they're telling stories over a longer period of time, which I like.
They're getting more time to be able to tell these stories.
Right, and that's what I like about Phase 4.
That's why I think comics are sometimes easier to read than novels in a way. Because comics, they can end up just as long.
Right.
But it comes out at like a slower pace in a way. And it fleshes out more.
And these guys can vouch for me. I think an Office quote comes out every other sentence.
Yeah,
like, these guys can... Or every situation that we have had in our life, I'm like, this is like that one time in The Office where, like, I won't say it in the moment. Always, we'll go home and I'll be like, so, like, that reminds me of what happens in The Office. Like,
X was like Y in this situation.
Exactly.
I was gonna say it is a fairly common occurrence. I remember this happening for at least technically years now.
We were in middle school the first time I ever watched The Office. And it's so funny because I've grown up as I've watched the show consistently.
Yeah.
And it's like I laugh. Well, not so much anymore because I've been aware of certain jokes for a while now. Yeah. But like, I remember like from the first time I watched The Office to the 5th time I watched The Office, I was laughing at completely different parts than what I was back the first time I watched The Office, just because I was getting more of the jokes, you know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny looking back on, because I was like, this is kind of like more of an adult show for me to be watching back in middle school.
I was going to say, that's how I feel about Futurama.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. Or like any of the Adult Swim shows. Like, I remember sneaking watching episodes of Family Guy because I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I was like, I'm going to watch Family Guy.
Yeah, that's something I liked about Venture Brothers. There was always something that I found funny. And as I've gotten older, I've really appreciated a lot more of their weird, obscure references.
Yeah, I used to sneak watch Robot Chicken in first grade.
I was gonna say, I've always loved Robot Chicken. Even before. As long as I can remember, Venture Brothers, Robot Chicken, and Futurama have always been there. Weirdly enough, also King of the Hill.
Damn it, Bobby.
God damn it, Bobby. I'll tell you what. That boy ain't right.
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
Do I look like I know what a JPEG is?
That's our outfits for Comic-Con.
King of the Hill characters.
King of the Hill. That'd be fun.
Who's going to be Bobby?
Please be Bobby.
Logan?
Oh. I wanted you to be Bobby because you're like gigantic. It's really funny.
He's going to be Hank. What are you talking about?
No, Wyatt's Hank.
I can do the voice.
I would be the guy with the glasses and the...
Oh, Dale?
Pocket sand dude?
Yeah.
Cracks in the driveway.
Cracks
the
in the
Chinese
driveway.
are making their move.
Pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
What a weirdo, dude.
My
That
brother
show always was weird to me.
he gets called Boonhauer sometimes at home just because of the way he talks. It's so my brother's voice continues to get deeper and he talks faster. So he just keeps talking around like this sometimes and he just starts rambling. And it's like I can understand him usually. There's sometimes sometimes he'll purposely knows what he's doing.
Your brother's but sometimes your brother it happens to me. I just get in a rut and I can't get out of it with my sentence. So I just have to
oh, he just keeps going.
I have to walk away, but your brother just keeps going. He's like, I'm not giving up on this sentence until it's finished.
And it works, usually. Sometimes he just gets fed up and he looks at me and he's like, the thing! And it makes more sense. And I hate that happens, but it works. But sometimes, honestly, we can just start speaking gibberish at each other and we know what we mean.
Yeah, right.
What other shows?
I have down some.
I was gonna say I've
Why? Talk about another one of yours while I look at this list.
Okay. Well, yeah. I was gonna say certain shows I've always like I said, King of the Hill. For some reason, that show I really grappled onto. Yeah. It psychologically made me think in that voice of Hank Hill, and I don't know why. It's there was one day I just all of a sudden was, do I look like I know what a JPEG is? All I wanted was a picture of a goddamn hot dog. But there's other shows when I was younger I didn't appreciate them, but I got older and I liked them much more.
Right.
Shows like Psych. When I was younger I was I couldn't stand watching that show, but it became absolutely hilarious when I was older. And if you look they were also really good at hiding weird references to everything throughout the show. Every episode has a pineapple.
Really?
Every single episode. You have to find it.
This is why you need to watch Chuck. I think it's by the same people.
It might be. I think it is. Wasn't there only one? How many seasons of Chuck were there?
5.
Really?
5 and season 5 pissed me off.
Makes sense.
Because they were ending the show and they apparently couldn't find a better way to end the show, which was stupid. They could have ended it a different way. Other than
Shot him in the face.
No, it's much worse.
Is it?
I want you to watch it so you can feel my pain.
So how did it end?
I'm not
You
telling
flew
you.
to Africa.
Connor, please elaborate because we're on a podcast.
No.
And I don't know when I'm going to watch this show. Because I don't even know what services I can watch it on.
I believe it's on Amazon Prime.
Well, I started paying for Prime recently.
Dope.
When I say I mean my mother.
So,
I'm going to watch The Boys.
Oh, yeah? You've never watched it?
I've never gotten to watch it yet.
I have yet to watch The Boys.
I still haven't started
season
Invincible.
Oh, my God. Invincible is so good.
It looks so good.
Invincible is literally probably the best piece of content that Amazon's ever made.
I believe that. It looks really good.
Oh, yeah. For sure. It was I was like, I need the next episode. A more modern show.
This is why I was wanting to stand.
That has come out and still it's new episodes. Not recently, but they're working on the 3rd season for is actually Ted Lasso. I know that you guys haven't watched this show, but
I don't know if I ever will.
If anyone ever, has the access to Apple TV, or just use a 30-day trial, I'm telling you, this is one of the best. There's a reason it won 13 Emmys last year. There's a reason it did. It's one of the best shows that I've ever watched. It's not my number 1 show, obviously, but it's probably top 3, to be completely honest with you. The show, it tugs at your heartstrings. It makes you laugh your butt off every episode. It's such a it's such a roller coaster ride of emotions. But I'm when I say it's probably one of the best pieces of television in modern times, it probably is. Because all of our other shows that we're probably going to talk about for the rest of the time, they're 5+ years old, most of them.
Yeah, most of them.
Right. And this show is just I don't know how to explain it. And we have you guys would have if you watched it, but I have a more personal connection with the main character because the actor is from Kansas City, and he brought that to the character. The character's from Kansas City, so he wears a whole bunch of Kansas City shirts. The background on his laptop's Kansas City Joe's Like he just like sprinkles little tidbits of Kansas City into his character, and I really like that part of the show. But yeah, it's a really good show. If you haven't watched it, watch it. Use a 30-day free trial. I know.
I was going to say that would probably be the way that I do it because I'm not paying Apple to watch their weird subscription service.
You don't even pay Apple to use their phones.
No, I refuse to. Shouldn't be worth $1 trillion.
Wait, Gary's no longer. Damn.
No, I probably will
Damn
go back
right.
to Apple after this phone.
Why?
I don't know. So I wanted to try something different because I've only ever had iPhone besides my first phone.
Yeah.
I've only ever had iPhone, so I just wanted to try something different. So, and it's not that this is bad. I missed FaceTime, and because like this has a version, but it sucks. And then I'm tired of using Snapchat's version because it sucks as well. But everything like I get where people are like, it's not as user friendly. It's not, but it's not a problem for like some like.
If you know how to read,
age.
it's not a problem.
Right. I don't know.
They're toys to me.
I'll go back
iPhones
to
seem like toys.
I'll probably go back to whatever iPhone.
And I don't like that
I'll
they're
probably
not
have this phone
durable.
for another 2 or
Apple
3
products
years.
just break so easily. Everything they've made
Well,
after 1990
something that they did with the most recent generation is that they thickened them back up to what they were before.
They're thick.
They're not thin. Like cuz like they were thin like these for like a while.
That's the thing though. That's still thin, and I can assure you, you could throw it at the wall and
break it.
will be
Well,
easier.
that could be-
It'd be
that'd
harder
be
to break than that one right there.
thick.
Yeah, it's thick, but it's an Apple product. Those are made to break. Like, okay, it's like a glass figurine. It's made to look pretty.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not durable. Anytime I've ever seen an Apple product, very rarely does it last its entire lifespan as possible without some kind of horrible scratch or ding in it. It always gets something really stupid happen to it. And
Right,
because
and
they make them so that way they break easy.
The dumbest
It's like
thing that Apple's ever
microwaves.
done.
They break every 3 years.
The dumbest thing that Apple's ever done with their products is put back glass on them. That was the stupidest thing.
Well, like I
never saw a phone like my dad dropped his phone like from like that far off the table.
And
it was like
cracked.
2 or 3 inches off the table, and but like he'd like dropped it on the ground from that far away, and it shattered the back. The front was fine, and he didn't even notice he shattered the back glass until they took it out of the case. And that was the majority of people that broke their black glass. They had cases on and didn't know they shattered their back glass until they took their case off.
Their black gas.
Their black gas.
Yeah.
Because it's made to look pretty.
Right.
They're not actual products to use.
I don't know. I'll probably go back after this.
Expensive toys to show wealth. I just
wanted to try something
I
different.
wanted a good camera, dude.
We'll see these camera or like get a Google Pixel. Google Pixel. They still have like the #1 camera on phones right now, don't they?
That's why I've been looking at Google Pixels.
I don't know. I've been kind of indoctrinated at this point, so.
Right. See, and that's what I felt that way too. So I wanted to get out of the. I wanted to say I've not only had iPhone ever. I say I'll probably go back to iPhone after this, but if the flips keep progressing like they have, like because I was gonna get a 2, but then they came out with a 3, and they keep improving. So, but there'll be a Google Pixel, not a Google Pixel. There'll be a Samsung Galaxy Flip 3 or 4 by the time 5 even by the time I get a new phone. So I might do that just to. Because I've always liked flip phones. If I could go back to a flip phone now, I probably would.
I know there's a lot of people that hate the flexible screens. Like, they legitimately just hate it.
Right.
And I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's showing true advancement of technology. I've wanted a big fold-out tablet thing since I watched the first Avengers movie.
Really?
Because at the end of the movie, Tony Stark unravels this big mat.
Yeah.
And he turns it on. It's just a tablet. It's like, I want this. Give me this.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting closer.
We're getting closer to that.
All right.
I wanted the tablet, not the suit.
All right. So shows that made us. How are we sitting on time?
We're at 45 minutes.
Oh wow.
Adventure Time and Regular Show were really big as I grew up.
Well, apparently Regular Show imprinted on me and Wyatt more than we thought it did.
I think it really did, judging afterwards.
Because so me and Wyatt have been known to dabble in the art of screaming randomly.
Screaming at random dumb things.
And we come to find out we traced it back to Regular Show.
That's the only thing I can think of
Mordecai and
where anybody does that.
Right. Mordecai and Rigby do the and me and Wyatt do the
It's like literally you just start throwing trash bags into a dumpster and they're like, "We're done with the trash." oh, and then like the stupid jokes that like were in there,
and then
like,
but
you
imagine
know who else screams when they take out the trash? My mom. It's like that shouldn't have lasted as long as it did.
I can hear Logan cheering.
Yeah, he's gonna type something in the comments. I can.
But like, imagine like the.
That's what he's gonna
randomly.
say. He's gonna be like, you know who else types in comments?
Imagine Mordecai and Rigby screaming at stupid things, but it's me and Wyatt from across the cafeteria.
Oh yeah, imagine
a
heavily populated high school lunchroom.
And you just hear
That's
me and
two
Wyatt.
levels.
Right, just hear
and
me and Wyatt.
people on the bottom floor looking at you. Because you're in the back corner.
The back corner of the top
All
floor.
anyone hears is just two large white kids in the back corner just, ah!
Harmonizing.
Cheetahs.
One day, we're not going to bring that up right now.
Well, we don't have to bring up what was said, but some people got mad at us.
They got specifically one table away from us. And like I can understand getting annoyed with that. I really can, because it's kind of it's cancerous. As bad as that, like that was probably a good way to sum up who I was.
Cancerous?
But like I do feel bad for being those dudes that were like screaming in the lunchroom like that.
Oh,
but
I
it's
don't
still
feel bad
kind
at
of
all.
hilarious.
I don't feel bad at all because no one cared besides that one time.
True, actually. No one really thought twice
In
about
fact,
it.
like people that we knew that weren't sitting with us were laughing. Like people, because we usually all sat at the same table.
I didn't because my lunches were gone.
Yeah, you
Right.
had a different lunchtime, you not band kid.
You not band kid.
I'm
Learn to
sorry.
Get
play
Shrek.
Learn to play an
Way
instrument.
to play an instrument, Connor.
It's a bit too late for that.
It's never too late to learn an instrument.
No.
It is for high school.
Right. Go back to high school band.
Go back to
Connor.
high school, Connor. Revert in age. Become 14.
We would have crapped our pants if he just became.
If he somehow had the power to just
Return to monkey. Wow.
revert puberty.
Hey guys,
You know how
what's
scary of a power that would be?
What's up,
to
guys?
go back and forth between before
Yeah.
and after puberty.
Like,
I think that would be like a very
extremely
physically.
useful,
It'd
but
be like freaking,
really
it'd be
strenuous.
like
How would that
it'd
be
like
useful?
Ramna.
You could like walk into something like nobody ever suspects a kid. That's like a common plot thread in like everything.
It's like an R.I.P.D. Or
Yeah.
at the end of the movie, he's a little Girl Scout. Like that's his counter ego.
Did you expect that? Would you expect a Girl Scout to be hunting ghosts?
Maybe. Now that's all I expect,
See,
especially after
Bum, bum.
Ghostbusters.
true.
After I've seen that little girl kick ass.
She's coming for you.
Anyway, we on a show that we've all enjoyed for a lot of our lives is a show that stars a little yellow box
Oh,
And a,
called
yeah.
and a big pink star and a
pineapple.
Under the sea.
under this
Small and yellow and porous is he. SpongeBob, SquarePants.
SquarePants.
Sponge knob.
Sponge knob. Sponge on my knob. SquarePants.
Sponge
On my nose.
sponge on my knob. Get in with me. Then give me.
Let's not go that far, please.
But like SpongeBob was like a massive part of my childhood stuff. I like this, at least the childhood that I can remember, like because there was also the little kid shows that we all watched.
And
But
SpongeBob
I
was
don't
always like
remember
weirdly consistent though.
SpongeBob and it
Like Scooby Doo for me as well. Like I don't know about you guys, but I always watch Scooby Doo and Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
They're like in that level with
Tom and
SpongeBob's
Jerry,
in the
dude.
level with them.
right, like it is, and like people don't want to admit that.
But
But like
he
imagine a
became
show that's
that
been on
character.
as long as it's been on longer than we've been alive.
Literally.
Like,
there's not many other
by a
shows that
couple
have
years,
done
but still.
that. Like
Right.
Simpsons.
Simpsons.
That's Family Guy, technically.
but I think that started
South
after we were
Park.
born.
South Park,
South
technically.
Park.
But even then, they're also kind of not the same.
They're adult cartoons.
Right.
This is a little kid cartoon. I will say the newer episodes are kind of kiddie.
They're extremely.
And then there's a Patrick's.
It's a weird
Spin-off that's
Patrick
gross.
spinoff, and then there's also a CGI spinoff that's called Camp Coral.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird.
That's gross.
It also actually has a weird time travel element. I'm not joking.
Time travel? Like they travel to the future?
No, like Sandy's younger child version. Because you see Sandy come to Bikini Bottom
in the show.
in the show. But in Camp Coral, she's there, and they actually explain that through a time travel message that
is
Sandy
this-
sent back to herself to go there early, so that way that Patrick and SpongeBob actually become friends.
Is this where they? Is that the show where the memes made where Squidward's like, does the talent show, and he goes up there and plays the clarinet, but they put the sound over it.
Which sound for clarification?
Well, like it's like the like I don't know.
I think it might be where that comes from.
But like Squidward, like and Patrick and SpongeBob were like staring at him with the biggest smiles on their face. But yeah, I've never watched that. I mean, I watched SpongeBob hecka when I was a kid. Like,
right.
So, like every day, like
you know they made a Rugrats remake.
It's wrong.
It's
Rugrats
wrong.
look weird in CG 3 dimensions.
Oh,
Ew,
really?
that does sound gross.
Because Tommy Pickles' head looks like a soft baby head. Like, as bad as that sounds, like he looks like he has a soft baby head, and it looks like that in the show, but it's CG, so it looks like
That's terrifying.
a soft baby head in 3
It
dimensions.
looks porous.
Yes, it looks like a porous rock. It looks like it's a pumice stone.
Wow.
It's not right. And then I never really liked Rugrats. There was always like shows.
Pause.
Yes, that's what it's. Yeah,
This is. Or I guess we don't have to pause, but I'm showing them the TikTok that I think it is.
that's what it's from. That's
we
Camp
might
Coral.
have to just.
Yeah,
That's gross.
yeah, that's an actual show.
That's a show.
That's
That's
show.
on regularly.
Yeah,
No, it's on Paramount.
it's on Paramount Plus.
Oh, well, that's gross. Anyway, we were talking about Rugrats. I wasn't listening because I was trying to find that. But what about
yeah.
Rugrats?
I never really liked Rugrats because of like it always
The
looked
only
weird.
thing that I ever really liked with Rugrats was the movie where like they have like the dinosaur driving thing, the dinosaur car. Because Rugrats kind of scared me. Not gonna lie, Rugrats
they look weird. They're hard to look at.
they kind of scared me. I watched it, but it kind of scared me to watch.
There's a lot of those '90s cartoons from Nickelodeon that are kind of like that. Like
Hey
not really
Arnold?
like scary, but like they're just weird looking.
Hey Arnold wasn't scary.
Hey
There was
Arnold
a-
was great.
Yeah.
There was that show that the guy from that voices SpongeBob, the cow show or whatever.
Oh,
Cow and Chicken?
No. Well, there was Cow and Chicken, but there was a Nickelodeon show that had a cow, and Tom Kenny was also on it. Rocco's Modern Life.
And then there was that show with the
back in the barnyard.
no.
Rocco's
That
Modern
didn't
Life.
scare me. It was like had the same art style as Rugrats almost.
Rocco's Modern Life.
It was Rocco's Modern Life?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and then there was like Courage the Cowardly Dog. I know it's not Nickelodeon, but that scared me as well.
There was some episodes. Yeah, that episode I hated.
I remember my cousin.
Every
showing
time it
me
came
that.
on like at night, I
And there
was
was
like,
the-
switch, get me off of the show.
The one with the little blue thing. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Everyone will know what I'm talking
is the
about. if they-
imaginary homes for
No. I'm
Foster
not talking
for
about a show. I am talking about On Courage.
Okay.
This little CGI blue dude. He was like, "We all end at some point."
that's terrifying to
Like,
tell children.
What? I think
You are
that's
going to die someday, and no one will care about you.
That's essentially what it was.
Right.
But he's telling it to a dog.
That's
Oh, they brought
terrifying.
Courage back recently
Oh,
No.
for a movie with
for a-
Scooby Doo.
Scooby Doo movie. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Scooby Doo in the middle of nowhere.
There was an episode I remember where the old lady was sitting in her chair and she just melted,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it terrified me. I was like, "Oh my god!"
I was gonna say I think Courage was
This poor dog.
Courage was like that was worse than Goosebumps to me. Like I know some people are like, "Ooh, like Courage, that was so fun," and then they were like, "Goosebumps, couldn't watch Goosebumps." So
Courage
completely
was
other way
terrifying
around.
to me.
Like Courage was still fun to watch sometimes. Other than like some things were just gross to look at. Like I didn't like when they'd like make his teeth super big and there's just a hole that goes through it.
Yeah.
That bothered me when I was a child.
Why?
Because it's gross.
I like to scream though. The like I don't know. I can't even replicate it.
Like those sounds he makes. The muscle man scream.
Teen Titans was another Cartoon Network show.
The way he would just go.
Fun fact, whenever it was Japanese, it wasn't actually, it was just a filler episode. Whenever the intro was English, it was actual plot driven episode. Yeah.
What was
Like
Teen Titans?
whenever so like Teen Titans, they had two intros. The Japanese intro was filler. The English intro episodes were actual story elements.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Is that like an Easter egg that they made? Like,
I think it was just a way to like subconsciously differentiate the episodes.
Yeah.
And they knew in production, but kids, they're just gonna be like, "Oh, this episode has Japanese."
episode It's Japanese.
And honestly, I didn't notice as a kid because like the Japanese kind of sounds similar to the English and how they sang it.
Yeah. Well, and so like Slade Wilson in that show like scared me.
Oh
like,
god,
he was
Slade was
especially at the age that we were.
Scary.
Right. Like I was like, oh my god.
He doesn't wear blue. He wears black.
This guy's gonna kill these people.
He's gonna kill these children.
This guy's gonna kill children.
In the comics, he's originally kind of weird, kind of creepy, in a completely different way.
Like how creepy?
He's kind of predatory.
Ooh.
Yeah, like on Terra.
Oh yeah.
He's kind of predatory on her. Like
well,
yeah,
wasn't she like
in a pedophile way.
Didn't like he bait her to work for him
essentially
in the show? Wasn't that in the show?
That's
like
part of it in the show.
Because
and in the
she,
comics, he has like a relationship, quote unquote, with her.
Ew.
It's supposed to show that he's not,
A
he doesn't
good
care.
human.
He's a bad guy.
right.
And Jericho's his son and stuff, and he's in the show, so that's interesting. They never touched on that though. His son is named Jericho.
Jericho.
In the show, he has like this power to like possess people.
Piggybacking off of Teen Titans, which was a good show, but like Young Justice came out.
Young Justice.
Young Justice, I think, was a better show than Teen Titans, but
I think so. Narrative wise,
right?
Because
it was just it was good. Like season 1 and 2 are awesome.
Season 3 is also good. I got to watch it when I was mooching off of like a free 30-day trial or whatever for HBO Max. And I really enjoyed it. Now season 4 is out.
Right.
And there's a lot more stuff they're doing. Like Etrigan's now on the show.
Really?
He's not really, young, but they show him as a Justice League member. I love Etrigan. That was a show that I loved when I was a child. Batman Brave and the Bold. And there's an episode where Batman, when he like goes back in time at some points, he meets Etrigan. There's time where he's like in Camelot, which is a complete reference to how Etrigan came about as a character.
Mm-hmm.
He started in like medieval style comics with Jack Kirby drawing like a demon mask. And then later he just redrew that demon as the demon Etrigan. Right. And he became his own character.
Yeah.
And since then he's always spoken rhymes. And I don't remember the full rhyme for when he transforms. It was like, the end of it's be gone, form of man, arise the demon Etrigan.
Yeah.
And then the rest of everything he says will always rhyme. Except for one comic. He says nothing.
He says nothing?
He murders everything.
Oh.
He just takes out his flaming sword.
And kills everyone.
Everything. In his way.
That sounds awesome.
It's really cool. Same era as when Joker grabbed Batman's ass.
Oh?
Yeah. That's a thing that happened.
Well, anyway, I think we're running a little short on time here.
Yeah.
So, should we end it?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, thank you guys so much for joining us this week. Hold on, I want to redo that. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this week's episode of Time Sweeps. Make sure to leave a like if you haven't already. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And when you click that subscribe button, a little bell will appear, and you should click that because it really helps us out. So, Wyatt, what's the secret word?
Secret word of the day is cart.
Cart. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard him. Go down to the comments and type cart, and we will heart your comment. I mean, we heart every comment, really.
Pretty much.
But
we appreciate your comments.
We appreciate your comments. Anyway, guys, thank you so much.
I mean that in the most menacing way possible. I love it.
Anyway,
accept my love.
We'll see you next week, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.